If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you remember Duke and the G.I. Joe team beating Cobra in just about every episode. But that was only the version television was allowed to show you. Because there is a much darker story out there, a war where G.I. Joes actually died in combat, and that story never would have made it to air on a weekday afternoon. It starts with 10 seasoned G.I. Joes taking out a Cobra terror-drome deep in the desert of Trucial Abysmia. The mission looked like a milk run, as one of them jokes. They bomb whatever is left of the base and pull back toward the border of the Emirate of Benjin, a friendly neighboring country, before Cobra can add up the damage. Then a single vehicle shows up on the horizon, running instead of standing to fight. Looks like a straggler, easy target. The Joes go after it. That was exactly what Cobra wanted. The vehicle leads them straight into an ambush set on every escape route the Joes could have taken. A plan drawn up by Zamet, one of the Crimson twins, put in place ahead of time for this exact moment. His tanks and maggots roll out from behind the dunes and close in from every side. Duke, leading the group, tries to reorganize the formation in the middle of the firefight, shouting orders over the radio to spread the vehicles out and cover the rear. It does not work. The radio gets jammed seconds later. Helicopters spot them from above. It is a textbook fan ambush, and they are sitting right in the middle of the kill zone with nowhere to go. Time to throw in the towel, Lieutenant Falcon. We've got too many wounded to keep going. The twins mock them for it. How convenient, blaming the surrender on the wounded, until Duke, done holding back, spits in one of their faces. The answer comes instantly: fists, kicks. Duke on the ground getting stomped, while the twins promise he'll never leave Trucial Abysmia alive. Cross Country won't stay quiet. We can't let these lousy snakes get away with this. He challenges the twins themselves to a straight fight. You want a fight? Come on. Until one of them brings a rifle butt down on him. Fool. I don't even need to shoot you to put you in your place. The 10 prisoners are marched to a canyon. From there, Zamet gets Cobra Commander himself on a satellite line back on Cobra Island to report the capture. The answer comes back as one short line: get rid of them immediately. And it is that one piece of ambiguity that is about to kill 7 people, because the twins read it as an order to execute. They try to hand the job off to regular Vipers, who refuse to move without written orders. Only one soldier takes it without asking a single question: a SAW Viper, a heavy weapons specialist, who signs on in exchange for 2 months of extra pay. The rest of the column moves out, leaving him and 2 more Vipers behind to take care of the problem. The 10 Joes are stuck at the bottom of that canyon, boxed in by rock, no way out. When the guards suddenly disappear, somebody puts it together. I think our luck just ran out. Doc, the team medic, the guy who spent his entire career saving people, climbs up to check and gets shot for it. He dies right there, alone, before he even finishes looking over the edge. Then the machine gun sweeps the rest of the group, and it does not stop. The Joes throw themselves on top of each other, trying to shield whoever is next to them, using their own bodies as cover. It is not enough. The rounds keep tearing through the dust and the smoke in that canyon for what feels like forever. When the shooting finally stops, Heavy Metal, Thunder, and Crankcase are dead too. One of them had already lifted a combat knife off a Viper during the earlier scuffle and passed it to Falcon, who throws it with everything he has and buries it in the shooter's chest. That should have been the end of him. It was not. 7 layers of composite fiber in the Saw Viper's vest stop the blade cold. All he walks away with is a broken nose and a personal reason to come back for them later. With the shooter down, the survivors turn his own machine gun on the 2 Vipers still standing. Quick Kick takes the weapon out of the hands of a Falcon who has been hit in the arm and finishes the job, crying the whole time he is firing. Crazy Legs fights with the same fury, knife in hand, screaming at the top of his lungs as he cuts down anybody left on his feet. Breaker runs for the radio inside the Rage vehicle Cobra left behind and gets through to the pit back in Utah. 4 dead, 2 wounded, requesting immediate extraction. Duke refuses to hold a funeral out there in the sand. We take care of our own. But Cobra was listening listening in on that call. They intercept it, jam the frequencies, and send a second wave out to finish what the Solvov Viper started. 2 tanks, a maggot, and 2 helicopters, with one explicit order: do not leave a single Joe alive. The 6 survivors run for the border in the stolen Rage, flat out across the sand. The helicopters catch them first, hammering down on the moving vehicle. Breaker is hit. Duke cuts hard turns trying to shake the gunners while the others fire back, and somehow they bring down both helicopters and one of the tanks, one right after the other, in a string of explosions that lights up the whole desert. For a second, it looks like they are going to make it. Then the Rage takes a direct hit and comes apart. Only Duke, Falcon, and Cross Country get thrown clear in time. Falcon, still trying to pull the others out of the burning wreck, hears the answer he did not want to hear. There is nobody left. Breaker, Quick Kick, and Crazy Legs, all of them dead. Out of the 10 who went into that desert, 3 come out alive. The backup gets there too late. A team drops out of the sky in a mobile battle bunker ejected straight from orbit, after a violent re-entry through the atmosphere. All they find is 3 survivors covering their friends' bodies with a tarp in the middle of the smoking wreckage. The backup showed up a little late for 7 of us, Duke says, and he does not bother hiding the bitterness. Before they move out, each of the 3 sets aside specific rounds for payback. 2 bullets for Doc and Breaker, 2 for Quick Kick and Crankcase, 3 for Heavy Metal, Crazy Legs, and Thunder. Anything less would dishonor the memory of our friends. Meanwhile, in Benjin, Zamat has to explain to Cobra Commander himself what happened to those prisoners, and he does not dress it up. A subordinate disobeyed orders and shot 7 of the Joes. Cobra Commander's reaction is not celebration, it is shock. Shot? He shot them? He had expected the prisoners to be walked to a neutral border and released. One order given in a hurry, and 7 people died over a misunderstanding nobody bothered to clear up. Backed up by the mobile battle bunker, the survivors hunt the Saw Viper down until they run into his armored escort, a Hiss tank that looks impossible to crack. Machine gun fire does not leave so much as a scratch on the armor. Then the hydraulic system that raises the missiles into firing position fails, leaking oil everywhere. Right in the middle of the fight, the crew solves it with muscle. They force the launchers up by hand, under enemy fire, and shoot, taking the tank out with one clean hit. The Saw Viper jumps clear of the explosion and runs for his weapon through the smoke. Duke goes after him alone. "I'm waiting. Give me the excuse," Duke says, hoping the guy picks up that gun and hands him a reason to pull the trigger. The Saw Viper laughs right in his face. "I'm not dumb enough to give you that chance. As much as you want to finish me, you can't bring yourself to shoot an unarmed man. That's one of the drawbacks of being the good guy." And he reminds them they do not even have the authority to arrest him out there because the Joes are in Trucial Abysmia illegally. He turns his back and walks off, calm, laughing, in no hurry whatsoever, like none of it ever happened. See you around sometime. The man responsible for the deaths of 7 G.I. Joes just walked away, and Duke could never do a thing about it. If this story showed you a side of G.I. Joe you never imagined, drop a like and share it with somebody who grew up watching the cartoon. Subscribe for the next video. See you next time.